Hello everyone, this is Chris Jamel at Exciton Interactive, and by the time that we are done with this video, we will have created the radio group. We'll have to wait till the next video for the radio buttons themselves, so what we'll actually have is not looking all that impressive up here. We have a radio label, but nothing going on below it. But we will have access to the point in which we are going to insert the radio buttons. As I described in the video, we're going to take a different approach than the select. The select, uses Angular's ng4 to take care of populating the values in the select. We're going to create the radio buttons and insert them into the DOM ourselves. And of course, we need a place to do that. And this thing in the console down here is actually showing us the view container that we are going to insert the radio buttons into. Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. So the first thing I'm going to do is the same thing we've done in the past few videos here, is to create the template. So once again, make sure focused on the right program here. So controls, mixins, pug. So we're creating a radio group here. So let's go ahead and put it right there. So mixin radio group. And this one, at least for right now, I don't really have any opinion on what the template should be, so we'll just use the ng template, spell it right, tag, save that. So now we create our radio group, and what we need is conveniently placed radio button there, or radio folder. So let's choose new file and xc radio group.component.pug, include controls.mixins.pug, and once again plus form control group and plus radio group. Save that. Good to go. You can see radio group.component.scss, and in here import controls.mixins.scss, and at include form control group. Save that. Last but not least, xc radio group.component.ts, and let's scroll this down a bit. We'll go with the usual suspect, ng-component, xc radio-group, no, tab, xc radio group, do our usual. So forward ref, we need to import from, and xc form control. While we're at it, we'll just do from and options form control. Created last video. And this one, xc form control. And xc options form control. Perfect. And we come down here, providers, array, ng forward ref, providing an xc form control using xc radio group component. Perfect. Quick check to make sure that's good. Getting there. So the radio group, so it has some type of value and some type of option. This will extend the xc options. Where you go? Options form control, t value, t option, no option, and protected get tag name. Turn know this XC radio group. Perfect. Done there. Time to export it as usual. So we want the controls index.ts. So radio group. So export star from radio star radio group. Save that. Once again, back to our module. Come up here. Where are we at? Right here. So we have the XC radio group component. And declare it down here. Group component. Perfect. Done there. Alright, so back to our basic example component.pug file and radio group. So we'll have the control row. And I just call it radio. XC radio group. Give it a label. Radio. Name. Radio. And oops, about to forget it. Radio group needs some options. Go ahead and put it up there. Snag this whole bit for the template. And we'll come down here. What we need, stuck. Let's just bah humbug. Let's go ahead and copy and paste here. So from the article, helps if you copy the entire thing. What I need to see, so we want it to be, we need a comma. So we have our radio, which is just the same thing to be typed in, you know, on the template and the pug there, and then we're using the same options for it. Let's go ahead and save that. All right, so now let's go back to the browser. So not surprisingly, you know, nothing to see. We haven't actually inputted anything yet. I guess we should have a control in there. Of course, yeah, we have the label, but, you know, of course, nothing else. So we're moving in the right direction here. Let's close that. So in the previous one, so obviously in the select version, if we look at the controls mix in pug, you know, once the options have been set, the you know, we're letting Angular through the ng4 take care of populating the select with the options that the user can choose. We're going to take a different approach in the radio group in that we are going to, you know, we're going to set the options, but then we are going to create the radio button ourselves and insert it into the DOM. This is as opposed to having, say, a radio group. You know what the options are going to be. You know, male, female. You could put that into the template itself. So, for example, if we were in, I guess I could have left that one open. But if we were in the basic example component, you can. Why are you going to do that? You could expect, you could imagine us doing something like radio, which is what I did previously, and you know, we might set an option or a value for it, a label for it, and you would do that for, you know, each option. So of course you need to know what the options are going to be at design time, right? You have to be able to put these in here, and you know, we'll probably all make it so that we could do this as well in the cases that we would know what they were. But you know, there might be other cases in which you don't know what the options are going to be at design time. You know, could be the result of an API call, you know, over the wire. You get your results back and you want to put in some radio buttons, so we want them to pop in at runtime, which is what we're going to do now, or what we'll do. And the first thing that we're going to need is a place to insert our radio buttons. Let's close this. So the first thing that we're going to modify is the file that I closed and go back to the mixins pug. I said we need to have a place. The place is this ng template. We need to have access to it, so we'll use this template variable, and we'll just use the hash, and we'll call it radio container. I think I mentioned it previously, since I'm using pug, I have to use this empty string here. If you're writing it in HTML, then you don't have to, just put this thing in here. So we'll save that and close it. And next thing to go to is the radio group component.ts file. So we're going to want to, we need access to that template variable, the reference to it, and of course it's in the template for our radio group, so we can, we'll need to wait till after the view is initialized to try for it. So let's come up to our imports, and let's import after view init. And then we'll also need, I guess we'll do all the imports while we're at it. We're going to need the view child decorator and the view container ref. All right, so now let's come down here and tell it that our class implements the after view init. Get our little red squiggly there, and we'll do public ng after view init void. So for the moment, nothing. Let's go back up here and specify. So at view child, and we called it radio container. And we'll have to add a little bit more here. Private read only, and we'll call it underscore radio container. And we'll do any equals no. So we can specify, so if we just do this view child, if there was a component attached, Angular would automatically give us the component. I think that this thing would give us the element ref since there is no component without us specifying it. It's not the one that we want, so we're going to come in here and we can add in an object with a property of read, and what we want from it is the view container ref. Where is it at? So the thing that we're going to get out of here is the view container ref for that template variable. So now let's take a look here just to see what we have going on. So console.log this underscore radio container. Save it back to our browser. Okay, make it a little bigger. Let's come down here, look at our console, and we see this nice fat undefined down here. And the undefined is a result of the fact that we're using inside of our controls. So the radio group in the end is using this mixin, and this mixin contains an ngIf, overall ngIf. So the element does not exist until the group is set. I went ahead and said, okay, let's see if I can just do it, make a hook, a lifecycle hook my own, so that when the group is set, it'll call a function, then we can do it there. And of course, that happened, too quickly, as we have to give Angular time to update the template anyway. So we're going to do this in a different manner. And in the different manner is, we're going to come down, we're going to create a new method, private create radio components. It could be radio buttons, I don't know. All right, so the thing that we're going to do inside of here, well, first off, let's just do this. Let's move this down here, and we'll do this create radio components. Of course, nothing has changed. It still won't work. But the magic that we're going to use is that we're going to say, so if, I think I made a new thing for undefined. So if this radio container is every time with the enter, so it's tab. So if it's supposed to be undefined by the time it gets here, but might as well be super sure and check for null. What we'll do is just set timeout, and then we'll just call our method again, create radio components. We'll give it 100 milliseconds. We can always adjust this if we wanted to, and then we'll return. So this, we'll get down here. Of course, the first call is going to come in. It's going to be undefined. We'll wait 100 milliseconds, come back and check again. If it's still not, another 100, another 100. And we could do the same thing with a set interval, but of course we'd have to keep track, cancel the interval at some point in time. This way it just cleans up after itself, so we don't have to worry about that. So if we go ahead and save this and return to our browser, so just refresh this, and we can see down here at the bottom that we have actually the object that we are looking for. So now we've created our radio group component itself, and we have it set up so that after its view is initialized, we actually have a reference to the radio container, which again is the point in which we are going to insert the radio buttons themselves. But we'll have to, I think, wait till the next video to see how that's done. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. I know that your time is valuable. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button, as well as share the video with your friends. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And once again, thank you, and I will talk to you in the next video.